Alrighty, well, we got some more action here at CCT North America as we continue with the round of 16. Today, though, it'll be myself, Vincent, and Exner taking you through all the action. And Cole, you know what, man? We've had some good games. We've had some bangers. I'm ready to get some more going, aren't you?
Oh, it'll be a guarantee there. We're gonna get a whole lot more excitement the rest of the day here. Got some exciting teams ready to play out, and looking forward to covering here. I was excited for this day here and seeing how the teams that are up and coming are doing here. Tsunami, obviously one of those squads here, up against what appears to be, at least for me, like a new organization here to represent in Supernova. I've seen them around before, but it's been a while, so very exciting stuff there in that department as well.
Yeah, I honestly don't know the history of this like organization in Counter Strike. But I know I saw them like in Valorant for quite a while. I think they're still over there. So it's awesome to see another organization looking to put some investment, picking up this the Shimmer squad. And I think that's a lot of fun to watch. And up against the Tsunami team that has put in the hard work through that Swiss stage to get here. It is Supernova, though, the invite. And here's where we stand. We're looking to put a cap on these round of 16 games here tonight, Cole. The quarterfinals, for the most part, set in stone. And I mean, looking across the board, it feels like we sort of got what we expected out of those round of 16 games. Is today going to be any different? Any changes, or are expectations going to be met once more?
I mean, I feel like we're gonna see here maybe not shifting up expectations too much. I think, most of all, it's on this Supernova roster here to show up. I mean, we saw what FlyQuest Red was able to do there, rolling out, and how much excitement they brought to the table, even though it was a 2-0, so incredibly explosive. So I want to see if Supernova can come out and with these invites here and step up to the plate here. The issue is Tsunami have been a team that's been impressive. I mean, they're one of those rosters, as you highlighted, all the way through that Swiss stage that continued to show up, that looked like with the new addition here, Poseidon, that they were going to step up and really be a team to mess with. And they really proved themselves here by locking in 3 consecutive victories to lock in a playoff berth here for this roster.
Yeah, I mean, when you're talking about a couple of victories that mean a lot too, right? Lost to Might, that's understandable. They're on the other side of this bracket in the quarterfinals, so you can swipe that aside a little bit more. But Kraken, we know that they're a team that fought through incredibly, a team that fought through from 0-2 to making it into the round of 16 here. Unfortunately, have lost out, though, in the round of 16 matchup. Then they beat Aether. I think that was a little bit of an easier matchup, but then they're punching up against Alter Iron, who are currently in ECL. That's a pretty legitimate run that Tsunami have been working with, and I think that actually is perfect. Let's talk a little bit about the details of this Tsunami roster, what they have done here, what they look like, because this is a core of players that has been very competitive in CCT North America. It's in here their third consecutive in a playoffs. Just barely missed out, I think, at the start of the season in the first series, but they are right back into the action, this core of players. And when you have someone like Poseidon that you can add into this roster, that's huge for a Cajun that is desperately wishing and hunting for the maiden CCT North America playoffs victory. He's been here 3 or 4 times rather, and unfortunately he's not been able to win in the round of 16. This will be the first attempt. And there's some tragedy there too. I mean, it was forfeits against NRG because of Hurricane Helene, forfeit to wild card. Those are tough games no matter, but that was due to like an anti-cheat issue. Don't really think there was anything that they could do about it. And all the way back in season 1, they lost to Detonate, that eventually became the roster that was boss last year. So it's been a tough draw, I'll just put it that way, for Cajun and his leadership in the round of 16.
Yeah, I mean, fair enough, sure, but now you get a chance to prove yourself here. You are able to finally send a match in playoffs after a couple of disappointing and tough situations. So you get to bounce back here and step up to the plate after long last. And really prove yourself. And I'll tell you what, you don't have to worry, at least for now, in terms of that talent getting plucked away. Hopefully this roster, I mean, depending on how good they do here in CCT playoffs, is that usually is an indicator of, individuals getting taken to greater teams and greater heights. But how well you can do in this playoffs here is a good indicator of if you can continue to step up. And I feel like, Cajun, I feel like Poseidon, a proven talent here that can just step into these roles and step into this environment, is going to be just fine.
I think so too. Now the question is what this Supernova team looks like, because listen, you were kind of drawing some comparisons to the explosiveness, the fun that we were seeing out of FlyQuest Red. Well, I mean, this Supernova team, they're in advance, right? Like FlyQuest isn't main right now, and this is the core of what was Impact FE last season of ESL Impact. And I mean, they're a team that has been very strong, that has looked good, and I think, they are a team with a ridiculous amount of firepower. And funny enough, maybe some history in their coach and Ink, who used to be the coach of Tsunami Sirens, now playing against Tsunami, which I thought was a little fun fact to throw at you. But I think the Supernova team, they are good. They look good, and they've been, I think they, are positive win rate in advanced right now as well. Like, these are all huge upsides to talk about.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, this is a roster, I believe, last year when they were playing out in main playoffs, was really able to step up to the plate there. And now, stepping into advance the season, it's really cool to see them being able to succeed, stepping up into a new league. And I think that's a big deal, and a big proof of concept here is that this roster can operate in this environment and start to continue to succeed as they move on up the ladder, which is a very exciting prospect for this roster. And it's the same case for them. This is a great opportunity here with a playoff invite. You've got a great opportunity in representing a new organization, that I had last seen when I first started casting in Supernova, and kind of their reintroduction and making a splash into the NACS scene once again. It's really cool to see. So now you've got all these things that you can represent, and you want to step into this playoffs and show up out of the gates.
Yeah, and I mean, I think it's difficult with this head-to-head just because the stats are a little bit more ridiculous than they probably should be, just because of some of the competition that Ibithy has been playing. A lot of those are like the Impact Cash Cups, and so there's just not a lot of data there. That being said, she's been in fantastic form, has been looking good, and that's been true for the entirety of this Supernova roster. So as we kind of look at that, I am looking though to somebody like Poseidon on the other side, who it has been super consistent. I mean, has actually had a really good CCT, just like as talking for a singular tournament. I've been impressed with what he's been putting on the line. There was a reason that I was really excited to see Poseidon get another opportunity with a team like this that's kind of an already set core, that he could slot into, because he's a guy that we've been watching with great interest for a little bit of time now.
Yeah, I mean, again, he's a guy that can take control of the server so effectively with his AWP, and throughout playoffs already we've seen the power of that, the power of the op being able to step in. But we'll take a look at the veto. Nice Anubis ban, I think, for this out of Supernova, just in terms of the opportunities and the target. I mean, maybe this is their permaban. I'm not super familiar, but just getting rid of Anubis versus a Tsunami team, from what I've seen out of them, is really valuable, and it feels like a good opening phase ban here for them. But that'll still leave them up with Ancient, with the rifle core that I'm watching out of Tsunami. It feels like this is a great opportunity for them to open up this series and do what they do best here, and that's get very aggressive, very in your face, open up rounds so effectively, and contain mid control. From what I've seen out of them so far throughout the Swiss stage, I mean, we've covered quite a bit of their games. It's been that's been their bread and butter in terms of the success story for this team.
Yeah, no doubt about that. I think that this does feel like a very big win for Tsunami, even despite what I would agree is a good target on that first ban out of Supernova. But I think the difficulty here is that Tsunami are comfortable everywhere on this veto. Ancient is a home map. We talked about like the comfort that Cajun has calling on that map, but also just team wise, this core has played that a lot. Now to be fair, Supernova also an Ancient team. They play Ancient, so I think that goes a little bit both ways. But as I look down the pike, I feel the same way about Dust 2. I feel the same way about Mirage, in that Tsunami feels comfortable on both of those maps. I think that's the scary part going into this game, is that is true.
Yeah. I mean, that's going to be their chance here to punch back and see if they can respond here. I mean, obviously, Ancient could go either way, but in terms of what we've seen out of this Tsunami roster, I think this Ancient will be a good way to start things off, as we have good news here. We're ready to start off this series. Open up here on our first map. Ancient to continue the quarterfinals, and again, a matchup I've been looking forward to here. Seeing how Tsunami do after the Swiss stage as they enter into playoffs. Get to find out here very quickly. Up against Supernova.
Yeah, let's get it. See what Supernova's got on the CT side. That's where they start this thing off. Tsunami prepped with a little bit of utility. It's fire, though. He's got the Molotov and the smoke grenade. There's no flashes, though. STX hanging out in the back of the site from Big Box, and she's got some support in the form of Fox here.
And that utility, those two Berettas just get leveled out, instantly drop, deletes them. That's going to make the job of holding up this A site very difficult for STX. Doesn't last too long. So 3v5, that post plant here. Usually the principle here is you want to take control. They have Donut, which is very valuable post plant positioning. Drop will eventually fall, but Poseidon stands tall, keeping them contained and out of the temple, or rather in the temple for now. There's a kit to pick up for Empathy. So we'll be able to pick that up at least for now, but a lot more targets here left, and still expecting someone to be around in Donut. That's not the case here. Flanks formulating, and eventually overrun by Cool Comms. Tsunami get access into that A site and take control.
That's just a phenomenal opening from drop. That's really making it difficult, because STX is there to really set Fox up for that position, and with the dualies, so you want to get a lot of value out of it. Unfortunately, just gets beheaded immediately, and so with Fox down, STX has to try and fall back, and it's just, as you said, a contained game that Tsunami play with regard to control of the temple side there. Supernova, though, will go right back in for another investment. They'll look for more. And it's a forward position. I mean, very aggressive maneuvering out of Empathy to start towards A, and if she continues forward, I mean, there might be a lot of space to be found. There's still some aggression, though, elsewhere. It's 3 strong down the A ramp, and whilst it's a brilliant trade, it's not effective enough to find much of anything more for STX.
Brilliant HE that just dunks down some damage as well. Blank will come through. Empathy does collect the headshot. Cool Comms seems like he was aware of that flank formulating, but turns around just a little too late. A jump scare. Into the site they go. AK recovered for Empathy, which would be nice to hang on to. Not an impossible situation here, especially with Empathy having a kit, but not too much initiation out of this retake just yet. Likely going to be a save.
It'll be good to see this Supernova team continue. I mean, with Impact starting up, I believe that they are confirmed this upcoming season, and a lot of individuals being able to carry over. It's an opportunity for them to build on what they had already started to create in the last season. Serendipity coming in for Phoebe, if I'm not mistaken, after that, but a couple of saved weapons, and the key obviously is Empathy having that AK. That's going to be a lovely addition. But I don't believe they'll be interested in investing around it. Now it's up to Tsunami to just survive without taking too much damage in this round. That's the key, damage control.
A lot of emphasis on middle here and setting up empathy. She burns down to 34 in that Molotov.
Ooh.
Just not ideal.
I don't think anybody else has armor either.
Yeah. Not much you can do there with the great flash coming through. Empathy doesn't last too long. Considering her low HP, those entries fly by. AK now recovered from the T side. That is a dream for Tsunami as they just tear through the competition on A. Looking for some exits here. STX almost taking care of drop, but not enough health to tank through, not enough weaponry.
Made a little exit for Fox. That'll be nice. Maybe a second, two. Wait a second. Trying to hunt her down becomes a little bit more expensive. That's a couple of, I think one of those was an SMG, but that's a rifle lost. So Fox makes that a little less stream-like for Tsunami at the end. But good news for her is that the opportunity, no pun intended, to get out the AWP.
Brought out there. I mean, extra 600 goes a long way in that department, so nice couple of exit kills. Cap it off. To set it up even further here. Utility well placed, but serendipity just needed one extra bullet. Couldn't quite connect it. Was that a mid flash?
I think
oh
it was.
God.
Is that real?
Whoa, that is sick.
I just learned something new.
I thought maybe she was trying to bounce a smoke off to land towards ramp, but I think that was a flash for middle, man. That's incredible.
100% a flash. I gotta go look and see like where that lands, because that's insane.
Unfortunately, equally good at utility here for Tsunami onto this B side. So all of that being displaced is going to keep them out of the site proper and into winning ways here for Tsunami as they carry forward.
Yeah, and I mean, talking of utility, basically all around there, it is the utility I think that Tsunami have in mid that's really effective. The layers that they have, right? We saw just even in a round where Tsunami aren't committing to mid, you know, the depth of what they had prepped and ready, lots of utility to deny space in the early round, and you know, 2 layers of flashbangs to help make that fight for serendipity near impossible. Even despite her good positioning and dodging most of them, she just can't do it all. It's just so very difficult.
The utility continues to rain through. I mean, you can see the principles here. That sort of depth in the utility instilled in Cajun and his teams. All these runs that he's been able to make. The Settles drop able to at least equalize here, kind of play puppy guard of that AK. Sure doesn't get into the opposition's hands. After all is said and done in middle, they go and re-clear it very quickly. Now drops in hot water, does get surprised by the double MP9 push, and that means all of this B-side control, it goes a bit dark for Tsunami. Forces them in recovery mode, and they're going to quickly try and reclaim that space.
That they are. Bad news for them is that Raven is deep indoors, has the AK upgrade. So, bomb plant is a guarantee. Now the question is, where do you move to hold this space? It looks like Tsunami have made the decision to take towards at least back dice and just not take entirely towards CT. But that's the right call considering Raven and where she can be.
Smoke as well. It's going to keep him at bay, and they just lose Raven. There's a step through. Now they're looking to dive in. Poseidon lands a flashy flick. Goes for re-peeks there. And eventually we'll be able to close it off with a trade onto Empathy. Such good decision making, and honestly, you look at that route from Tsunami, and it just feels so perfectly to counteract what Supernova had in terms of the map control. So you got deep positioning, and you let this one small avenue of approach left vulnerable, and of course that's what Tsunami push on.
I mean, they saw the route, they saw sort of the win condition, right? Is that, if Raven had fallen back onto site, that's still where you can clear her out. And if not, well, saw how it goes down. So very difficult. Here's an interesting look. It's Poseidon who's holding the line, and a really aggressive run for Cajun, who's just taking space at A. All of this is a little bit of a ruse. I thought maybe they would accelerate if Cajun met no resistance, but no resistance met, and he falls back anyway. All of that just to pull a rotate, and it's effective over towards A. It's just one player here for Supernova that's at B. Now the mid take comes.
Looking to reclaim mid control. See if the CT side can get that utility contact taken there. Serendipity able to lock in a kill, but cool comms will collect two. STX holds down the line here towards that A side, but still more re-aggression being punished by Tsunami towards middle. All over the map there as they tried to sneak out of Temple. It's going to be once again B site control vulnerable. This time that extra bit of space here is granted over towards the cave side here that they have contained. They're in a jolly old position here on this T side to get the job done. 2v3. No kits for STX.
All the way through. Victorious in that round. Tsunami calling a very strong game of Ancient on this T side. 6-0. And even when the initial pick goes awry, you got to look towards Cajun and what positions he's putting himself in, taking a lot of space, both initially towards A. That causes the rotate over from B, and it actually stacks up mid, but they still win.
That's map control so effective. Drop looked like he was doing some nice stretches there after that. The camera there, unfortunately, gonna get chased down there by Fox in the MP9. So as much as Drop is limber, he is taken down as well. Serendipity though. He's had a bit of a tough time here early on towards middle and containing control, but was able to finally get on the board in that last round, and then steps up and adds two to a tally in this one.
I mean, that's massive. The ability to get that much done with an MP9 in not very favorable position either, especially for that second kill. These cool comms and Poseidon with a whole lot of work. But split up our Supernova, and that's maybe the one thing that Tsunami can lean on is that they are split. Smoke will go down, and they've isolated the bomb site. It's got the least amount of resistance. It's just the Deagle here. It'll be available. Empathy. Can she hit it on this timing? Being watched. Oh, turned at the last moment. The bomb doesn't go down, so now it'll have to be planted in. That's Smoke fortunate to provide some coverage for Cool Comms in the 1v3 turn 2.
Oh, they're going to double push this, though, I believe. Right now, it seems like they're waiting it out. Cool Comms. Super hyper-focused on CT. Now gets a chance to peek forward. Spots them out both, but can't connect. STX quick with the headshot to seal the deal. Supernova going to be on the board. Serendipity a big part of that. Containing some of this mid-control here. And pulling it back from, down 4v3 to up 3v2 then after that.
Yeah, I felt like the round probably was over when it goes to that position. And then Tsunami just meets Serendipity in mid. And it's a little bit of bad news. Instantly, though, attack pause off of just that one round lost. That enough to call in a pause.
It's such a quick decision there. Drop is really slamming that. Trying to get some energy here involved. Set the focus right.
He seems to be doing all right.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, is it too much of a good thing?
just keep stretching. You know,
That's true.
stay limber.
It is important.
Make sure you're doing your wrist exercises. So
That's a real thing. That is.
you got going on here. It looks like a little bit more safety for a mid walkout this time with minimal resistance at the moment. It's already 2 flashes from the CT side tossed in. That was going to lead to more aggression here, but it seems like still willing to play a little bit passive in the setup at the moment.
And it might be a positive that it doesn't end in that, though.
Their whole pushes.
Yeah, Tsunami super prepared for that exact move.
Sympathy stepping out there. So another late flash towards middle, but the not super eager to take those duels, understandably. So there's a whole lot of targets on the corner. Blowing open that smoke. They've already passed it. More weight on the shoulders of Serendipity. She holds the line towards middle effectively. Cool comms eliminated. Now STX has to be careful. They're already crawled up, and that flash trajectory is certainly seen. Downfire on the lurk there gets to step forward as well. And this goes from bad to worse as Cajun fires up on this B side. Poseidon will collect straight through that smoke as well. So Tsunami, timeout, straight into a round win. They bounce back quick.
I mean, there's a bit of an up and down, and maybe a roller coaster around there for Tsunami. Big fan of just waiting and looking towards middle, trying to bait out a reaction for Supernova. That's something that Tsunami been super effective at, is mid control, and Supernova been showing that they want to duel there, whether it be later on or early in the round. So getting themselves out into a position where they can fight for that control, especially off the back of some, re-pushes, I think that's great. Drop, unfortunately, left out on his lonesome a little too much, though. Only for Fire to make sure that doesn't go any further wrong. That is the swiftest as openers, though, that you could ask for from Poseidon. 2 players in Donut gone in an instant.
I feel like Tsunami kind of reading into the amount of resources Supernova have put there towards Donut. And very willing to stack their presence on the CT side. As Poseidon gets those 2 kills, I mean, there's very little map movement from the defense. They're just still very camped up on this east side. And gonna throw a little fake there in towards B. That's gonna further keep them contained. Meanwhile, it's gonna be a slow crawl out of Donut. They're executing into Ghosts, but Tsunami always feel like they're doing their due diligence when it comes down to how they play out these advantage situations.
Yeah, I think that is definitely the part that makes Tsunami so reliable here. Whenever, and the one round that Supernova win, I think that's why it's such a surprise. Because it's a round that Supernova get away with fighting back one of those disadvantages. Just phenomenal flashbang. Raven fortunately had the coverage, so STX will be able to rain some fire down. How many to get, though? All of them, unfortunately. And Supernova can't even get out with any of those guns they had hoped to save. 3 players fall in the waning seconds of round 9.
I like the hype there from Cajun. After they find all those exits, I mean, it's worth spending a little bit of money on chasing down those kills, even though it's not super out of control for Tsunami. Taking down all of those weapons, leave some with MP9s here instead of A1Ss. There is strength in numbers, and those numbers are on the scene in the perfect location. STX takes a lot of damage, I believe, through the wall. Peeking in there into the AWP, a connection on the shot. They're so close, though. They line up for the AK. Cool comms will take care of 2, but there's a deagle swinging at Empathy. Shuts down 3. Rolling onto the scene just in time. And a missed molly. This fire's on fire right now. And not in the good way here. Does shut down at least one quick kill. That bounce on the HE puts a little bit of panic on STX. She will close down the finishing kill and put Supernova back in winning ways here for a second round.
I'm gonna be honest, it looked like the opposite. Felt like STX was the one who was cool, calm, and collected in that moment. Fire the one a little bit jittery. Can't quite find it. Had the advantage of that utility. And it is all empathy, though. I mean, sets this up beautifully. She gets so many backs turned, and I don't know who's meant to be responsible there for watching for that maneuver. But there's definitely a bit of a missing piece for Tsunami.
Some good utility to, I'd imagine, make sure that things were gonna go Empathy's way, but then again, like you said, felt like a big gap in the vision. Empathy able to capitalize. I mean, it had to be quick with those shots too. One clip, 3 kills. Efficiency. Tsunami not interested in staying down for too long. Play this one out very careful. Looking to limit the information here for the CT side. And they don't really have a lot of info right now. There's a silent crawl up the ramp. They're going to be quick about this entrance on towards the B side. They don't smoke anything off, but they just look to fire up here on the site proper. Raven overrun, but good for 2 there, and STX with 3. A full house between the duo as Supernova continue to fire up here on the CT side, showing some success.
Well, after such a disappointing start, it's so incredibly important to get a couple of these rounds to start to find a little bit so that you can survive into the T side. 3 rounds, potential for 4. Some incredible rifling from STX, leader of this Supernova team. It'll be pots and pans and a couple of Galils Tsunami are working with. Contact. This mid-smoke is exactly what they're going to do. As it fades, they walk through.
Eagle shots here. Cool comms. Is it 3 shots or so for good measure? Serendipity slowly getting crawled up on by all 5 as the Deagle shots rain out. It might bait you into a little bit of a lull, thinking that there's safety. So now they bring Fox in with the AWP. A lot of information there, but so quickly overrun there. Now the information is given over to the CTs. There's a whole host of Ts coming over and looking to aggress in, but they've got this quick mid-control here. They don't quite clear out. Empathy, who waits to strike and rolls through at the perfect time. Cool comms with the AWP, though. Just step up for a kill, and Poseidon now left into a 1v1 against Raven, looking to bait out the peaks. Raven hides in the back. Back of Donut at the moment. Reposition for Poseidon, but unknown. Raven gonna have that element of surprise. She steps forward and does collect there. A bit of patience paying off for Raven as she waits to strike in the back of Donut. Waits for a moment to shine. And catches Poseidon on a timing.
I mean, she just waits long enough to create question marks in the brain of Poseidon. Where he's thinking, well, maybe she's already, rotated out towards CT. Maybe it's the long flank. Who knows? It's just some good work. Could have been the double there from Cool Comms. Previously, this team's AWP player. But instead, it's a 4th round for Supernova. And a crucial 4-round stretch to end off the half. Tsunami had control for the entirety of it until that last 4 rounds. We saw Supernova start to bring something back. And it's important couple of rounds, you know, from both Empathy from STX as well to do it. Fire sticks around.
What?
Can't believe he stuck around there and gets 3. That is absurd.
He didn't have the dual Berettas, he had a USP. And denial of the bomb plant. Cool Comms doesn't quite actually get it. But he will get the second. What was that from Fire? How is that how you hold A? What is this, man? He gets overrun. Dead. This is where he should have fallen. Well, I think they thought that he was gonna run away.
I would argue he should have run away.
And he just holds his ground. Maybe he thought it was too late. Went scorched earth.
I mean, I guess that's a good example of the value that being a surprise factor can be. Because, I'll tell you what, everybody there for Supernova was quite surprised that he stuck around. I just can't believe he gets a triple off of it, too. That was the wrong move, but ends up the right play.
Hey man, anything you do confidently, it's gotta be the right move. If it gets you kills, it's even further the right move. That's just facts right there.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. I was like almost with you. Because, you know, if you do something dumb confidently as a team, you know, then it can be the right move.
And if it works, it's even further the right move. Again, if you get
like,
the kills.
I was almost with you, but you were talking about an individual. Like, I just don't know. So what you're saying is brilliant from Fire. So smart.
Yes, because it got 3 kills, and that's good.
Gotcha.
That
I will say your rules are simple, and I appreciate it.
You don't need to complicate it.
Simple game for a simple guy.
Yeah.
I'll get you.
3K equal good. 1 equal okay.
2 equal question mark?
That's great.
Okay. Well, I mean, this is a flash that could do some damage. Cajun, though, is playing anti-flash, and that's the biggest problem. Still, they break through. A little bit of damage done, and Raven getting a little deagle spam going. It could have been even better without a TK in there, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, that was they did get a good bit of damage there. Not too much investment. They did get a little bit of pistol upgrades just so that they could, you know, manage some of that damage. Keep the economy honest here, but Supernova super focused on getting those rifle rounds as soon as possible, even with the bomb plant in. Yeah, that pistol. Still prioritize hefty investment in round 3. Those AKs out, and for good reason here as Empathy blocks in a quick kill. Blowing open that smoke, though. The FAMAS, it's a whole lot stronger now, and a 3K out of Fire again. Starting this half with a 3-piece. And maybe looking to close this game off with a 3K there. Shut down this gun round. Completely changing the tides in his favor. Yeah, tides in the favor of Tsunami.
Just talk about Empathy's grabbing an opening pick, and you think, okay, well, if we can trade onto this mid player, this is a huge setup. No. Fire just single-handedly says, no, I'm good, actually. I mean, just a massive win. For a guy that, I'm going to be honest, ironically, his name being Fire, a little bit hot and cold. I feel like he has some really impressive moments. It's where I felt when this was the final form team. I always felt like that was the case, but the more that he has these step-up moments, the better that Tsunami is, I think.
Having a lot of those big moments right now. It's Cajun. Just remove surgically Empathy out of the server. With that wall bang spam. and make it another one. Oh my god! Almost found himself a 3k of his own. With quite a bit of damage. I mean, he is just snapping them out of the round from that position. No safety on the B ramp here for Supernova.
And I guess you could lean back on the fact that, hey, that's not a buy round. This is the one, though, that there's no question they've got to make the difference. 4 rounds. This was enough on the CT side to buy them some time. It's not enough anymore. And that's Cajun feeling confident. You got 2 kills and didn't see anyone last round. Cool Comms is looking to continue to follow up on that. The dink from Cajun, effective. Box spots just the one, but they don't realize that fire has scaled with him. That's devastating.
Oh, that timing from drop there is so perfect. Looked like he was stuck in a little sandwich. Stuck in towards a Supernova sandwich, but drop comes through, offers up that support. And it will be Tsunami showing up to their map pick with some confidence. A good game plan there and taking care of business in a flash.
Yeah, I mean, that's a T side that honestly looked like it could have continued to just rocket forward for Tsunami. Supernova did a great job. It was the riflers, STX with some big impact rounds, but just like as a whole, kind of were able to pick up the pieces of that first half and make something out of it. Unfortunately, without a pistol round and without much of anything going for them, those 2 gun rounds just weren't enough for the Comets to really find much of anything to work from. On the upside, though, that is the map pick here for Tsunami. So they win on their map pick, and so that sets Supernova up for maybe a game plan that they can lean a little bit more into on Dust 2.
Yeah, I mean, that's what we're hoping to see, right? Because, I mean, they did have some sort of semblance of a game plan on Ancient where they wanted to fight for mid control. They did it a lot through Donut, very, Donut-centric mid control there, but Tsunami just feels like they had that layering there, that depth that leads to, okay, this is what our opponents are doing. They want a round, timeout, bam, we just react. And I think that's the value here of this team. When they show that depth on this map here and are able to bring that to the table, I think that's a credit to Cajun, that the quick calls to, get the team back on track.
Yeah, on track and looking for this victory. Up by 1 with Dust 2 up ahead. We'll see if it's Tsunami that continue to find victories or if Supernova can bounce back when we return after this break. Well, we get into map number 2, Dust 2 upcoming, and this is where things for Supernova have got to be on the upswing if they want to continue here in the round of 16. Cole, it's a question of if we will see a better looking Supernova than it was on Ancient. I think so. I mean, this is the map that they pick into. This is where, I mean, they've been playing it quite a bit in their advanced season as well. Even though it's not like they have a ton of matches here on HTV, it's still a map they're comfy.
Yeah, I mean, that's a big deal there, obviously, in terms of comfort, in terms of the amount of game plans here. It felt like maybe a little bit stuck in their ways there for Supernova on Ancient in terms of some of the maneuvering that they like to do. That maybe as a result of a bit of lack of comfort on that map. Now you head into Dust 2 where you're able to show that range. And I think that's going to be the best ability for Supernova to come back here, is for them to show that they have a plethora of game plans, a plethora of ideas. And you know, bring that to the table as soon as they can here pretty much on Dust 2. See if they can show that availability out of the gates.
No doubt about that one. We are jumping right on into the action as well, but Tsunami on the CT side to start us out. With that being said, I think a conversation to be had, though, on both sides. I didn't really feel like we got to see the best out of Fox's AWP. She didn't get very many of them. So the opportunity to go head-to-head against Poseidon, who had a lot more opportunity to shine on that weapon. I'm curious about that, among other things. We'll get the long play, though, for Supernova in round 1. And Fire, once again, in a very tentative position, spotted out, and he's got no choice but to sit in that one or fight, and he'll go with sit, loses his life because of it.
Trying to get away with maybe a similar game plan to last round, or last pistol on the CT side, but they got a lot of reinforcements arriving, ready to cover off this ramp side. Poseidon will eventually fall, but the push through the smoke here is good. Same team, but eventually able to shoot over his shoulder and take care of STX. So Tsunami on the board early here on D2.
Yeah, that will indeed do for Tsunami. Just some good timing as well. You know, Fire gets really caught out, really exposed at Carr. Doesn't really have any support to help him out, but a great job. I think it was Cajun who gets the fadeaway inside of the cross smoke, and a ton of good work. Delay from the A-site players proper. Allowing them to get back in and crunch the ramp. By the time Supernova are trying to scale up. That's not one that Empathy's gonna like. Fire catches that in his teeth, but oh, they don't check him. Wow, the turn is so swift. I thought he was getting 3.
Understandably so. Does get overrun. Sheer amount of presence. Even though there was some, you know, push and pull in the contact right there, they still find a very swift trade. And that is going to help out big time. There were such limitations on the guns and the situation that they're left in. Making the best of it, making it expensive, and a chance to still actually win this whole thing while they're at it. But shut down on that B side as they try and run out. So no further damage here really taken from the CT side. Still though, I mean, the principle remains true here. This team has been very focused in on giving themselves as many gun rounds as possible.
Yeah, nothing shaking them from that intention either. Even the bomb plan in round 1 of the second half on Ancient. Nothing, no amount of damage done and going to matter. Fox playing maybe a little bit of a dangerous game against Poseidon there, but she doesn't pay the price, though. That is a heavy payment. And double nade that does extra damage onto both Empathy and Serendipity.
Really?
Yeah, that's a move.
Threw a deep molly there, but a little too deep. That is a nice opening pick there. Serendipity gonna take that every day of the week.
And was it Fire who died in that same position last round?
Oh, he's running it back there. He's got to get take 2.
I mean, he's set up a little bit better, but this time than he was before. Or maybe not. I don't know. 3 people back turned. I feel like it doesn't get too much better than that.
Yeah, true. And Glocks.
Yeah. just a nice turn out of, I think it was Empathy who made that adjustment. Either way, not going to matter that much. He's repositioned, and so have most of Supernova. Going to scale out towards A. Instead, there is a lot of these players that died at just one shot, and STX not one of them, but it doesn't matter because she goes down to the heady. It's Poseidon with a double, and now Fire holding back. Coolcoms gets involved, and with the SMG, it's nearly a clean sweep. The exception is Cajun walking through that smoke.
Yeah, unfortunately they walk into a disaster. There's an op on car, but it's just a scout and it's hitting headshots, so it's still a one-shot gun. That just has a whole lot more mobility there in Poseidon's hand. And as good as a little reroute there, you know, you take this opening duel and then you get a great catwalk execute. This is just too much to bear. Poseidon finding 2 kills to set the tone for how that defense is going to go. As I highlighted, you know, having those late flashes, having some sort of utility, it's necessary to execute up catwalk. Even if you're only going up against a scout, you have to have that proper utility, especially if you're going up against a player of Poseidon's caliber.
I felt like maybe Cajun could have been broken off there, but it's 2 kills before he goes down, and now the AK, ooh, it's a very committed spray out of Cool Comms. Drop's gonna filter back in, though, and so that low HP that they're chasing, not ever gonna be found, because Drop is in that position that Cool Comms was moments ago.
Walking through these rounds without too many casualties here. Picking up those AKs. They do get the opportunities. It's a really good start for Tsunami on their opponent's map pick now. But, you know, as I highlighted, I'm already seeing a decent, you know, game plan here set in stone. I like the catwalk, you know, fight and targets that we've gotten early on the gun rounds for Supernova, and I like how they get to that position. This time, though, we're going to have to see how they fight up against a little bit of resistance in that department. A lower push into a boost. That is a lot of pressure put, but a great trade.
Not even sure how
it's just suffocating.
Like, how does he get caught there? He's in the smoke. I don't know if he made like an audio cue or something, but STX certainly knew.
For that setup there potentially, but Drop, as I highlighted, you know, he instantly starts aggressing through. As soon as he gets the chance, as soon as that lower dark teammate falls. In a good position, calming out that there's aggression towards Long, dodging up these flashes, and he gets a flash from Poseidon as well. So then he gets a multi-kill. And Raven backing them into a corner at the moment. Smoke for the Molotov, and Raven trying to fight her way out of this situation. Lost in the sauce of the smoke at the moment is Poseidon, causing one hell of a distraction as the knife is out there. Drop. A risky maneuver, but rewarded in a big way.
I mean, he's 9-0. I can't even be that mad. That's Poseidon just screaming in comms like, help me, please!
Yeah, his teammate's gonna die. And he just singing, what's it called? Payphone there as he goes and chases down this kill.
Well, he certainly got the call off, I'll tell you that. And oh, it's swift. It's fast out of Cool Comms. Don't have much concern about the resistance because it's an eco, but Drop on the secondary gets it done. It's Poseidon who comes out with the USB. Oh my goodness. The lack of head armor certainly on display there. He gets one with the op, but the opper goes USP mode.
When an opera goes USP mode, you know it's dangerous. You're in hot water instantly.
Yeah, it's time to be spooked. It's time to be scared.
Yeah, I mean, this is just more of what we did see on that last map, and that's just very aggressive. I mean, they're taking it up a notch, in fact, I would even say. They're even more aggressive. They're even more successful, but there you go. I mean, finally being able to shutdown drop. His first death delivered at the hands of the AWP. There's more resistance, but Cajun doesn't last too long. And finally, Supernova able to break free here onto the B side. Can they close it out, though? Got a favorable post-plant position. That's good news.
Yeah, but it's a fast collapse onto Raven, so the mid presence is gone immediately, and Tsunami can very quickly get into position to start to attempt this retake. Lots of utility, too. Molotovs, actually 2 of them. One of those going to be extinguished, though, immediately, and a flashbang as well. There's a lot of smoke in the way, though, and I think that, more than anything else, and the lack of Supernova giving them over any fights is going to convince Tsunami the better idea is to give this round and go next.
Ooh. A little party gift there before the exit.
And what an explosive round out of Fox, though. I mean, that's what I was teeing up at the beginning of this map that we didn't get to see on Ancient. That's a little bit of what we have come to expect from her.
Yeah, definitely needing, some sort of star power to shut down the confidence that we're seeing on the other end of the server. Someone to punish the aggression that you're going to see. A team that's playing confident is going to give you a lot of swings. They're going to give you a lot of opportunities to open up with that op. Make sure you're in a position to capitalize. And last round, she certainly was. Flash is avoided by STX. And then the spray down, phenomenal. The trade comes through from Fox. And low on HP, Poseidon has to bail. Didn't buy an op this round, interestingly enough. Got 1S instead. Actually, you know what? Maybe there was spawn that was given to the op.
Yeah, it must have been.
Instead of... Yeah, that's what
I
imagine.
heard one fire that wasn't Fox's, I believe. It's just the slow scale. Oh, man. Barely could even see Poseidon. Raven. Eyes on, locked and loaded. Cool Comms gets the flank off, though. And there might be a little bit more. How swift can he be? Oh, very quick indeed. So Serendipity is going to punch in the numbers, but unfortunately the rest of her team is gone.
Nice repositioning towards Catwalk. It was going to take some early contact. And oh my god, drop just sidelines her from CT. With some pace on that play. Retake with initiative. How that long fight goes. I couldn't quite see if Fire had it. But either way, still a round that's saved there, and Raven. Quick reaction, looking to bail him out. This flank, though, from Cool Comms is so decisive, and I think that really punishes.
No doubt.
The T side.
I mean, Drop also catching the mid rotator. Just another frustration point. Had what could have been a phenomenal post plant that just never gets started. Now, yeah, okay, I was about to say, gotta have that flash. Just have to at this point. And good news is Supernova do. In fact, they're targeting Poseidon here. Very obvious. Double nade into his position. It's not without its cost. A lot of information. And off of the back of it, Tsunami take their own fights. It's on their own terms that Serendipity falls.
Just continue to peek forward there. Costly measure. We'll end up leveling out a trade opportunity, but Poseidon's still effective on this A side here. Hoping that these rotates can arrive onto the scene. So much damage is done. Empathy starts to go for wall bangs to eventually flush Poseidon out of position, but the damage is severe, and now it's being capitalized upon. Jumping shots rolling out, causing the distraction for Drop to strike. And that he does.
It's so annoying for Supernova because everybody's so low that it doesn't matter where Drop places that nade. Almost everywhere is a kill. Like deep cat, close cat, bomb planter, like anywhere but sight, and that nade's getting a kill. So
can't miss.
Yeah, it's just so very annoying because he's about to toss it there. Yeah, there's just nowhere that isn't going to be a frag. And when they both win their duels, he and Cajun have such freedom to then hunt down the final member of Supernova.
be able to continue to
Wow.
shut things down. There's some great damage there, but they punish the aggression. Read and react. Lower tons and upper both pressed upon, but neither one of them successful for killing below. That is the way that they open it up, though.
I mean, Cajun's in their head right now. I mean, seriously. He's just reading into every move that Supernova is taking in order to react to what Tsunami have just done. And the fact that he goes down there is a huge asset, but unfortunately it's not over yet. It's a lineup for Poseidon, and they're doubled up in mid, and it's 3 who fall, and they're all Supernova.
Feels like there's so much that looks like it's going right in the early iterations of these rounds here. The great punish of the pressure on the map, but then there's always somebody on Tsunami that's able to step up and kind of sideline the play and make sure that things go awry. I'm sure that comfort is not built on this T side at all. 9-1 scoreline. A situation where you have to kind of pull back from a one-sided half here for the side of Supernova.
On the flash, it's just a little bit too deep. And so it's the AWP player who's on a 30 bullet spray down with 3 kills in the mix. How about the ace? Nope, not today. Fox says, see you later. Might get a little bit more, but that, I mean, that flashbang. As many times as Tsunami have made very ambitious plays that honestly are a little bit ridiculous. It is the little things that they are very rarely missing, and it's a flash like that in a round that is a 1v4 that I'm talking about.
Yeah, right now, making a big difference in the grand scheme of this one. And, they start off these rounds, and Raven just hoping that she can get away with a little bit of info gathering. Look at this, man. The M249s are out.
This is a troll gun, but low-key is a good gun.
I one time got told that you should buy it on the CT side of OP because it one-shot headshots, and it was not ironic. It was serious.
I mean, okay, that's a little crazy, but it's actually pretty accurate. I'm like not gonna lie, it's troll, but
I think that gun actually stinks.
No,
as you can see, they're getting shut down. Fire has to use the AK to close it out.
Oh, you're not buying into my cope?
No,
How dare
no,
you?
I'm not.
How dare you? Of all the things that you'll cope with.
Yeah, I'm putting my foot down and buying the M249. It's just because I'm traumatized from hearing that actual call from one of my teammates in OT.
Call him out. Put him on the spot right now. Who did
It's
it?
El Jacko.
That makes
Did that in a league match.
That
Of
makes
course,
it
you know,
so
we
much
went on to
better.
lose overtime, of course.
Yeah.
So it's a personal
That's
thing for
fair.
me.
You know, I feel if I was in that situation, I might have the same reaction. All right, let's see if this could be anything. Whoa, wonderful shot out of Empathy, making a double. That's something we hadn't seen. Empathy, who really popped off towards the end of and throughout Ancient, having some crazy impact, but try to bring this back. Cajun will start the conversation. Poseidon has the last laugh, but it's 2 guns for 2 players on the other side.
Look at a bomb plant here. And you're right here. It's 2v2 in the gun department. Poseidon spotting out both players as well. That is so much information. A little graffiti and an instant dismissal of STX. Another graffiti. How did he refresh it so fast? It will be a clutch denied. Not going to allow for 2 more kills for Poseidon to put it on to 12. To delay that effort a little while longer. As Raven steps up in the clutch.
I mean, that's a huge relief. A pistol round win. Something, I mean, literally required based on this scoreline call. That is for certain.
I didn't know you could, I guess getting a kill refreshes your graffiti ability. You know that?
I did not know that. I was actually assuming that he tried to do a different graffiti.
If you would have started swiping through the different graffitis in mid-clutch, that would be crazy.
I think it's just a skill issue. You're just not quick enough. I get through those fast. I gotta select the right salt spray.
I only have one, and it's like I have 4,000 drillers.
I may or may not have 10,000 salts.
It's good. Stock up on those.
Yeah, I saw them for like 2 cents one time, and I knew I had to.
You're all over that.
Yeah.
Because you like value.
That's right. This is gonna just become the greatest inside joke of all time. No one's gonna know where it started. Ooh, that's a move out of Raven. Still maneuvering through, and oh, Poseidon, that's huge. Able to spot out the last player in STX on the site, and now Serendipity will cut Cajun off at the knees.
Drop. He wants more. So continue to fight. Now it is on the shoulders of Serendipity. At the moment. Try and save this round from the brink. She looks to slide on into this, but not given the chance to pop any shots off just yet. Spots out one, but again, it's still patience. No need to peek until that first contact taken, but a great cut up of those duels. But that just means now Poseidon can slide out. Serendipity reads into the clutch to perfection, but just can't quite find the kill when necessary.
Oh man, that felt like the final nail. Something to build off of. That was what I wanted to see. That's not what we got. What we got was a phenomenal entryway path by Poseidon, and now they just scale. It's difficult though, but Fox has a couple of heads to shoot at, and she's clicked on 2 of them. There's still a lot more to offer in this round, but unfortunately Fox continues to step forward and loses out. Damage starting to get done though, as Poseidon breaks open the bomb site proper.
But a couple of those players.
Oh yeah.
Under one shot and a jumping MP9 right there from Raven. It is instantly traded though. And now just on the shoulders of Empathy. Not long lasting towards the catwalk. They will be shut down. And it will be a victory here in the playoffs for Tsunami, you know, and Cajun as an individual after a long last, breaking through and getting a victory. It was a hard fought effort, but closing it out here in a massive way.
Yeah, what a huge relief for a guy that, I mean, I'm going to be honest with you, probably wasn't winning either of those previous matchups here in Season 2, but finally getting the opportunity to just play out the spot that they earned, and then now winning it with a quarterfinals berth, that's huge. It's something that I think that this team deserves, that Cajun deserves, that Tsunami deserves, and a fantastic win, a dominant win at that, all right? Besting even the good performance, the incredible performance on Ancient. It was 13-4. Doing even better on your opponent's map pick. That's a huge positive as well for Tsunami. But I think it goes back to show exactly what we were talking about, that this was a very comfortable map pool as a whole for Tsunami, and that's unfortunate for Supernova.
Yeah, I mean, fortunately, I think the way that they kind of come off there out of the gates is just, it felt like just massive multi-kill moments. It felt like Drop was taking full control. You have Fire as well. So every time you did see the side of Supernova gain some ground and put up some resistance, it always felt like it was then one-upped by someone on Tsunami having a big moment there, if they did gain that ground. And again, you know, on top of that, there were some very good calls. There were some quick, like, shutdown motions from Cajun there off the back of that timeout as guy that continues to tear up in the Swiss stage, and then now into the playoffs. Look at those stats from Poseidon.
I mean, he was a menace on Catwalk. I mean, a menace on the A site, actually, generally speaking, on the CT side. That was the difficult position that they just couldn't remove him from so many times over. Honestly, hard to pick out like an actual, like who the MVP is of this match because, Tsunami had a lot of it factor. We talked about, Cation, but, Drop had an incredible performance on Dust 2 there. I think probably ended at like 5 deaths or less if I had to take a gander of it, and was like 9-0 at one point. There's just a lot to like about what Tsunami did, but Poseidon